These are the best days of our lives. Let's raise your glasses high. This one's for you tonight.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the SUR Files. I am your host, Joshie Lopez. And today we're diving into The Valley Season 3, Episode 11, Friendship Shaken, Not Stirred. This episode was supposed to be glamorous. We had a James Bond themed party hosted by none other than Tom Schwartz. We had fancy outfits, tuxedos, martinis, pumptinis, and enough Bravo drama to make M16 quit the business altogether. But instead of shaking martinis, friendships were shaken. Instead of secret agents, we got secret grudges. And instead of moving forward, this group somehow found a way to reopen every single wound for the first half of the season. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's investigate this week's case file. The SUR Files starts now. Welcome back, everybody, to the SUR Files. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. It's usually the nefarious one, aka Joshie Lopez. Boy, do we have a lot to discuss this week on the podcast. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to each and every single one of you who take time to check out the podcast each and every single week. We drop this bad boy each and every single Friday, and where you get your podcasts from, it's free of charge. Also, make sure to check us out on our YouTube page at the SUR Files. Hit that like button and smash the subscribe button as we're on the road to 100 subscribers. And also, big shout out to our great good brothers and good sisters who follow us on TikTok at SUR Files, SUR Files. And I can't appreciate you guys enough for the feedback and the amount. You guys blow up my phone every day with the notifications and stuff that I share on the TikTok page. That's really where the files are. If you guys are curious of where the SUR Files are, there's two different concepts with this project. There's the SUR Files when it comes to the podcast, which you're listening to right now, and then there's the TikTok page where I gather as much VPR or Valley related reels and shorts that I can find and drop it on TikTok. And some go viral, some can start some drama, but either way, I appreciate the feedback that we've been getting for the TikTok page. So if you guys are checking us out on TikTok, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for the support. And also, if you check out the TikTok page, I usually do live reactions right after the Valley goes off the air. I'll give you initial thoughts about the episode, so you can even hear my initial thoughts on this week's episode of The Valley even before listening to this week's podcast. So again, TikTok is really helping us out. We need to get to 10,000 followers to start making money. We're getting closer to 7,000, which is really cool. But we really need to expand to reach the TikTok page in order to start making money on that end. But I just want to, again, to express my gratitude because you guys make this fun for me. This is a new project. And, I'm working out the kinks and, we got some cool things up on the horizon. We got a couple more episodes of this season, The Valley. Then we get to the reunion. And then around that, towards the end of July, we'll probably get to House of Saucy. And we can do that. And then figure out from there when I want to really start the rewatch of this franchise, Vanderpump Rules. So I'm open to any suggestions or anything you guys would love to hear on this page. If you want to see me do more content related topics, like if you want me to do separate videos on different topics around the Bravo verse, I'm open to any suggestions. And this concept is for you guys. This is for the VPR fans that love the franchise and want it be covered in a different, unique concept. And I make the disclaimer that I'm not a person that picks sides. I'm not a team this or team that. I call it straight down the middle, and my sources are my left and right eyes. So, again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. So, with this being a 007 theme edition of the Valley this week, I figured why not we crack the files and treat it like an actual Bond movie. So, I don't. Here's the thing. I want to make this clear. I'm not like a merchant for Chat GPT or super big advocate or anything like that. I've only used Chat GPT for the thumbnails because they just look cool with the photos, and I admit I am not a good graphic designer. I'm just not. So just come up with concepts with the thumbnails. I do use Chat GPT for that, but I wanted to see, I wrote a lot of things down last night to make this interesting, and I asked ChatGPT to write down a case file of this episode of The Valley, Friendship Shaken, Not Stirred. And then in between, we usually do what we usually do here on the SUR Files. We'll crack up the Valley after show and hear a couple select comments from different topics that happen on the show itself. So you'll hear from the cast itself. And you'll hear my commentary, and as always, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on this week's episode of The Valley. This is the trip before they head out to Mexico for their second cast trip, and we had this big get-together at Schwartz's house, Schwartz's townhouse. I always said I've always wanted like a townhouse or something like that, like a condo or a townhouse. I always figured like that would be like the perfect like living situation for me. Unless I was like some big star and I was playing music or whatever, like, yeah, you will have to have your own mansions and houses like that. But for me, I'm more simple. I'm not married. I don't have any kids right now. So I'm in the state of my life where I just want to like be on my own, and, having a condo or like a downtown condo or even a townhouse like Schwartz has like would be perfect for me. So, kind of cool seeing that. But let's take a look at this, and we're going to go through this, and I'll read what ChatGPT says, and if I have things I want to add on to that, I definitely will, because I definitely have a lot to say on this week's episode of The Valley. And the first thing I want to throw out there as you're listening to this, and I want you guys to really think about this, and let me know how you feel about this, because I know in the last couple weeks I've been very critical about the whole Mean Girls Club with Lala, Janet, Michelle, and Brittany, right? I've been very honest and very critical about all that stuff that's been going on, and I'm going to be the same today. When it comes to Lala, and what I really want to express here on this episode of the SUR Files is that I don't have a personal issue with Lala. I'm very disappointed with how her performances come off this season. And it's really frustrating because when I heard that she was being on the show, I wanted to see where her head was at and where she was mentally and what her story was coming off of, her dealing with all that backlash from the Vanderpump Rules season 11 reunion, right? And I wanted to see where her head's at. Obviously, there's different parameters that, Lala can't film. Obviously, she can't have Olshin on the show, so that's difficult. So we can't see her all the time as a mother. Even though we saw the stuff with Sosa, we had Sosa's first birthday party. I thought that was cool. I don't know if her mom and her brother just didn't feel comfortable with recording as much. I know that Lala has a great support system with Easton and Gigi and Amber Childers, who's her co-host on the Unlikely Affair, very good podcast. I know I've been very critical on Lala this season of The Valley. I have, but I am a big fan of her, not only just of what she's done on Bravo, on VPR in The Valley, but I admire Lauren the person. Like, she's really cool. She's dealt with a lot of shit, and I do admire how open and upfront she is, and I think she's a great person. I don't like that she succumbs to high school-esque characteristics and the stuff that's been going on with the Valley, because a lot of these issues can be tackled head on. You don't need to address issues when you need three other people on your side at the same time when you're confronting somebody. If you have a personal issue, take them out to the side privately and figure that out on your own. You don't need to corner them like we had with Nia on this episode of The Valley this week. Like, I don't like that stuff. I just don't. And It's just unfortunate because I really wanted to know what Lala's story was going to be on this season of the Valley. I really did. I wanted to know where her head was at with things. They could have touched on her sobriety journey. Celebrating 7 years of sobriety is fucking awesome. I'm straight edge. I admire people who take accountability and go on this journey to heal themselves from whether it's addiction to drugs, whether it's addiction to pills, whether it's an addiction to alcohol, whatever it is, where people are fixing their life. I admire that stuff, and I want to embrace that. And Bravo's a great platform to have Lala express the whole thing about celebrating 7 years of sobriety. Why has that not been addressed on this season? And it's just like, I feel, and I put this out on Twitter this week, I just feel like Lala's sole purpose of the Valley this season was just to be a spokesperson for Janet, and all because Janet got bashed at the reunion last year, and rightfully so. Lala's just sticking up for everything for Janet, and it's just like, I get it that they're great friends, and that again, that's not the issue here, but you're inserting your nose into business that doesn't concern you, especially when it comes to marriages. You're instigating things that doesn't need further instigating. And again, I'm like a lot of you guys. I'm tired of the whole drama with Danny and the drinking and Janet of it all, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. The only person that ever feels the right that they want to continue harping on the situation is Jasmine, and she has every right to feel that way if she wants to address the issue. But the Janet of it all and everything that comes in between this whole situation, where Brittany one second will tell Zach and be super defensive that she doesn't have an issue with Nia, but we're gonna get into it. There's my whole thing. I want to bring this back to full circle here because I don't want to talk in circles. My point here is that I was excited to see what Lala brought to the Valley, but all she's really done has replaced Jax when it comes to the gossip mongering and instigating of the drama. And that's unfortunate because I want to watch something new from this season of the Valley. I didn't want the Valley season 2 reunion aftermath. That's not what I wanted for this season. So it's unfortunate. So we got a couple more episodes left before we get to the reunion. I think 3 more episodes. We got the cast trip to Mexico. I think we're gonna get into Jasmine and Melissa's engagement party, which is coming up soon. And then they said the season finale is a Halloween party at Brittany's house. So I know these next couple episodes are gonna be pretty crazy. And speaking of Jasmine and Melissa, I want to say early congratulations because they are getting married this weekend in New Jersey. So big shout out to Jasmine and Melissa. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Lisa Vanderpump on her debut of the Vanderpump Hotel in Las Vegas. I never been to Vegas before, but I'll tell you right now, and yeah, I'm a VPR mark. I think there's probably a good chance that I would book a hotel at Lisa Vanderpump's hotel over like the MGM or Bellagio or these other places that I probably can't afford. So congrats to Lisa. I thought that was pretty cool. And they had a lot of the old VPR cast members there last night for the opening. I think Schwartz and Sandoval was there, Lala was there, James was there. So pretty cool deal for Lisa, one of the greatest entrepreneurs probably of all time. So really cool to see that. All right, you guys are here to listen about the Valley and my thoughts, and we're gonna get into it. So I asked Chat GPT, let's have a fun 007 experiment here as we recap episode 11, Friendships Shaken, Not Stirred. Here we go. Case file number 1. The Danny, Nia, Janet saga continues. If you've been watching The Valley this season, you probably noticed one thing. This Danny versus Janet story simply refuses to die. Following the controversy involving Danny's behavior around Jasmine and the aftermath that followed, the cast remains divided. Janet continues believing Danny's actions were inappropriate and concerning, while Nia remains firmly in her husband's corner. Danny believes he apologized and wanted everyone to move forward, but Janet isn't ready to let it go. At this point, everyone is exhausted. Luke jumps into the conversation again. This is the part where Janet this week somehow compares Danny to fucking Charles Manson. If that's not grounds for defamation, I don't know what is. I'm sure Jason could let us know if that's grounds for defamation on a public platform. Calling somebody Charles Manson is kind of defaming somebody's character, but yeah, that was not good. As I read what Chat GPT says here, I'm gonna insert my own commentary because I had to. Kristen jumps into the conversation again. Nia becomes defensive again. Janet doubles down again, and somehow we are still having the exact fight we've been having for weeks. One thing that stood out was how Lala inserted herself into the decision. Lala has slowly become one of the biggest truth tellers on the cast this season because she isn't emotionally attached to the years of history. She's looking at situations from the outside and asking questions nobody wants asked. This issue is that nobody wants to hear them. Danny wants grace. Janet wants accountability. Nia wants loyalty, and the audience wants a new storyline. I think that last line there is probably the most accurate thing that they wrote down here. I want a new storyline more than anything. I'm over it. There's a couple corrections that I had to add to this thing here. I think it goes back to what I said in the beginning of the show. Like, yeah, Lala may not be emotionally attached to the issues that have been going on in the first two seasons of The Valley because she wasn't around for that, obviously. We get that. But still, it doesn't change the fact that the evidence is right there. Look at how she carries herself in the after show. Like, you would think that she, one moment out of her breath, she's like, I like Nia. She's a great person. She's a great mother. Okay, you have a fundamental issue with Danny, but why is it every time we see you having these huddled, gathered sessions with Brittany and Michelle and Janet, like, literally, this would be a bad drinking game. Literally take a shot every time you see a scene on The Valley this season where it's a trio setting of gossip and shit-talking with Brittany, Michelle, and Lala. Lala, Janet, and Brittany. You know, like, literally take a shot every time you see a scene of that. Because it's like, one second you're like, I don't want to be Janet. You even said to Danny's face in San Diego that you didn't want to be like Janet. You didn't want to destroy their marriage. Yet here you are instigating and still harping this on. And then this week, it's not just the drinking. Now we had to corner Nia and paint her out to be a bad friend towards Brittany. Because, let's not forget the fact that Nia came up with this idea in the first fucking place, and she didn't have to do that. I put this out on TikTok yesterday, and I had a hot take. Some people are going to be upset about it. I don't care. I know there's a lot of people out for Danny and Nia this season for whatever reason. I get the Daniel side of it, I do. But when it comes to Nia, and I'm just going to say here on the podcast this week, Nia doesn't owe Lala, Brittany, Michelle, Janet, Jasmine, Zach, or anybody else on this fucking cast a goddamn thing. She doesn't. She doesn't owe them anything. And this whole spiel where they're going to try to expose her for being performative, and Brittany throwing a hissy fit like Sheena because Nia didn't initially reach out to her after she had the mommy makeover, as if we're comparing a mommy makeover to fucking breast cancer and all these other major diseases and stuff. It's like, you guys remember Sheena, where she was like lashing out at people because they didn't check on her after she got her teeth fixed? Like, what are we doing here? And this whole thing with the meal train, the food train, right? Nia came up with the idea. Okay, she didn't add Janet to the group chat. Okay, guess what? As Kristen accurately came in and pointed out, why would she? Why would she do that? They're not friends. Nia doesn't owe Janet a goddamn thing. And if it's that fucking important to Janet, Lala, Michelle, Zach, Jasmine, or anybody else that was part of that freaking crab boil party at Brittany's house could have sent Janet a leak. Obviously, it's not going to bother Brittany because they're friends. So, this is the thing that I don't get. This is so stupid. Nia, it does not owe anybody an explanation like that. Oh, let's corner Nia at Schwartz's house. Let's have Michelle, Janet, Lala sitting right next to Nia, and then Brittany right next to her on the same couch, and make her out to make her apologize and make her feel bad and make her shitty as a friend. And Kristen pointed out, like, she's tired of people going after Nia, and Lala's acting like nothing's going on here. Oh, we're not, nobody's acting out of pocket. Nobody's trying to go after Nia. Right. I've seen the Mean Girls act. We all seen it. We lived through it in our own high school experiences. We've all been through it. Even as myself as a straight male that watches Bravo TV, I witnessed how Mean Girls act towards girls that I went to high school with. I know how that looks, front and center. They'll tell you one thing and they'll still talk shit behind your back. I don't believe for 1 second that when Brittany got so offended by Zach pointing out that Brittany has it out for Nia, that she still talks shit about Nia to this day, probably behind her back. I would not doubt that for a fucking second. Not only that, they showed a teaser for next week's episode where Brittany had the gumption to question Kristen's loyalty to Nia. By the way, Brittany, you wonder who's been having blinders and blind loyalty to you for over 10 years? You can say the same thing about Kristen, but guess what? Kristen wouldn't put a label to that. She's your friend. Kristen is Nia's friend. Oh, it's only blind loyalty for somebody that you don't like. Just admit that you don't like the girl. I respect the fact that if you're just being honest. Yeah, do I like Nia? Yeah, I think she's a great person. She's a great mother. She's great to look at. She's fucking hot, I'm gonna admit. She's sexy as hell. Danny outkicked his coverage. But besides that point, she's a good mother and she's a good human being and she does right by people. You want to say she's performing because she's not airing every single ounce of baggage from her marriage on worldwide television. If that's the worst thing about Nia, good for her. I applaud her for that because you have some discipline, have some self-respect. Don't crucify Nia because you decided to be content in a 10-year marriage with a fucking psychopath. So, this is my thing. I want honesty from this whole situation. This thing is so fucking petty. It's almost as dumb as the controversy for the dueling pool parties from season 8 from Vanderpump Rules. It's that stupid. So before we get to the next case file here, we're going to play from the Valley After Show about this particular fiasco of the meal train. And let's hear from the cast itself about this whole situation.
And I totally failed at the meal train. Chris has sent money and I'm sending food tomorrow. Okay. I think it failed.
Nia sent a link to the meal train. It did not work because it wasn't set up.
The link worked to be able to give money to Brittany for food, but it was supposed to be sign up on a calendar for a day.
The way she set up the food delivery service, the minimum amount you could send was $1,000 gift cards. And Lacey apparently was like, that's normal, right?
I wasn't even aware of that until Lacey mentioned it to me a week later.
I think the link was just glitching. Nia didn't really pay attention to what she was putting in, I guess. So no one actually did the link. We all just brought her food.
My intention was there. It's not like I was oh, let me set up a bad meal train. Ha ha ha. That's not that's not my heart. I have since set up 2 meal trains since Brittany's, and I now know how to do it. That was my first time trying.
It's not even about the meal train not working. Who gives a about the meal train?
Yeah. I didn't even need the meal train. It was a wonderful gesture, and I appreciated that. It was just everything that happened afterwards. That was just what is going on?
It's that everything seems to be something that is for the public. You made a big to-do about it.
I just want to let everybody know I made a meal train for Brittany. It's just easy. You don't have to think about it, and for Cruz.
And then when it didn't work, you just didn't care. And then you didn't reach out to Brittany at all, but you sent her a comment public place.
I have to be honest, I'm terrible at texting. It feels a little bit overwhelming. Like I want to give thoughtful and intentional like messages and responses to people in text messages. And so sometimes it feels overwhelming to do like a whole text. But if I'm scrolling mindlessly after I put my kids to bed and I see something with a friend, I'm like, oh my gosh, congrats. And I still didn't take the time to send a whole long intentional message that I want to, but I can do something really quick. It just feels like less pressure. It's not intentional.
If somebody means something to you as a friend, how do you know that they have surgery where they're like having their stomach cut open all the way and you don't reach out in 8 days?
On my way to Tom's 007 party was whenever I got the first message. So that's the only reason that we're like, it seems like it's performative.
I can see both sides. That's all I'm saying.
I see one side. It's not like it's a surgery for like cancer. It's a surgery that's elective.
People die from tummy tucks all the time.
It takes 2 minutes to send a text message. Like, everybody has their phone while they're taking a poop. Like, just reach out, send a quick text. Sorry, I said poop.
You know what's funny is like other people will use their kids as like blah blah blah. Whatever. She has 4 kids. She wasn't even using that as an excuse.
I give my friends who are moms in general so much grace because I get it. Like, I'm a mom. I get it. Anybody that's had a baby that's like, you know, texting back 3 weeks later and they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, please, we are both moms. Don't say sorry. Because I know you could have pulled up your phone and then your kid jumped off the back of the couch and then the baby rolled over and you saw it for the first time and then someone was hungry. Like, and then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks later, like, shoot, I never got back to that text message. Like, I don't know. I just feel like moms should get it. Especially Lala. She's got 2 kids. She also has a live-in mom, brother, and childcare and all the things. But like I would imagine would get it a little bit more. So when people are coming at me so hard, I'm like, have you not been 3-4 months postpartum yourself? Were you an excellent communicator when you wanted to be, but didn't always have the capacity?
Great point.
No one is more understanding than Brittany of like a woman who is hanging on by a thread. Nia has 4 kids. She's got a man who, to me, seems very difficult. She doesn't need Nia to do some grand gesture, like drive from Santa Clarita or send her food.
At all.
The tiniest thing, like acknowledging, hey, I love you. I know you just had surgery and you're going through it. Just the fact of, like, Brittany knowing I was a thought in your mind is good enough for this woman.
Oh, yeah. Just even like a, hey, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I think just with her being in the pageant world, everything is about the public's perception. Because I do think that she is a really great person, and I think that her heart is always in the right place.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think she unintentionally misses the mark because of the world she's been in for so long.
Right there from the horse's mouth. I think Nia is a great person, but here, let me tell you everything that's wrong about her. It's like, shut the fuck up already. Let's read what the rest of the case files we have here at Chat GPT says. My God, my head's about to explode from this. Case file number 2. Tom Schwartz hosts a 007 party. Let's talk about the event of the episode itself. Tom Schwartz hosts a James Bond themed party at his North Hollywood home where nearly the entire cast comes together. Relationships are tested throughout the night as tensions continue bubbling beneath the surface. Now, if you watch Vanderpump Rules over years, you know Schwartz throwing a theme party sounds like a recipe for disaster. And somehow he delivered exactly what you expect. Everyone showed up in tuxedos. Everyone pretended to have fun. Everyone secretly hated someone in attendance. Classic Bravo. One of the funniest moments of the night came when Benji, who actually understood the assignment while everyone basically wore formal wear, Benji showed up looking like an actual Bond villain, complete with accessories and commitments to the character. Honestly, give Benji a full-time contract on this show. The man continues stealing scenes wherever he's on camera. The next part here, it says the case street. By the way, also I wanted to add it, Lacey had some really funny comments on this episode. Not only just like how she would go about her own 007 party, but also the it wasn't like an argument or whatever, but the debate about pickles with Kristen, I thought was really fucking funny too. So Lacey still kills it on the screen. Case file number 3. It says Zach and Benji's future. One of the more heartfelt storylines involves Zach and Benji discussing Benji's immigration situation and the future of the relationship. The conversation highlighted real-life challenges facing couples and brought a level of authenticity that many reality shows often avoid. The storyline felt genuine, no screaming, no throwing drinks, no accusations, just two people discussing their future. Honestly, that's what made it stand out. Valley works best when it balances drama with real life. Not every scene needs to end with somebody storming out. Sometimes real conversations are enough. So obviously Zach was having a conversation with Jasmine, and he's getting emotional about, because Benji is a resident in Canada and is having visa issues that's preventing them to like live together basically. And it sucks to see that. I don't know if I could do long distance relationships, especially if somebody was out of the country. So it's very, very difficult. So let's get to this next part, because another revelation that we had is that Brandon is no longer in the picture. So Brittany finally got rid of the freaking mole rat that we had to watch throughout this entire season. So it says, case file number 4, Brittany's shocking revelation. Let's move over to Brittany. Brittany reveals that her relationship with Brandon is officially over after learning information that completely changed how she viewed him. According to Brittany, she received information suggesting Brandon was communicating with other women while also asking her for money. Now, Brittany has spent much of this season trying to rebuild her life after Jax, and this episode showed just how difficult that process really is. Lala actually made one of the smartest observations of the episode. She suggested Brittany may need time alone before jumping into another serious relationship, and honestly, Lala is right. After years of chaos with Jax Taylor, Brittany deserves a period of peace. No red flags, no drama, no roster, Zach. No fixing broken men. Just Brittany figuring out who Brittany is. I want Brittany to be happy for how she is, so like she doesn't need like a toxic guy. And she admitted on her podcast that she has an issue ignoring red flags, which a lot of women do in this society. I'm sorry, I have to keep it honest. This society and dating and love culture in 2026 is women validating situationships, talking to people on the side when they don't get what they want, or cake and eat it too, and ignoring red flags out of lust. A lot of women don't know what they want these days, and I hate to say that, but it's the truth. It just is. Let's continue on here. Case file number 5, Lacey versus everyone. Lacey continues to try to establish herself within the group. The problem, nobody seems entirely convinced. Throughout the entire episode, Lacey offers opinions on the cast, critiques the Bond party, and continues to carve out her own role within the ensemble. They say here, this is one that Chat GPT got completely wrong with Lacey. See, this is what I mean. I don't live and die with the comparisons with Chat GPT. It's just all over the place. So we'll put a pin on that one. There's a couple other things that I wanted to mention here from this episode. So we went over the whole meal train fiasco with Brittany, and Kristen gets involved. You know what? I want to play the clip that I mentioned earlier from TikTok. There's 2 things I want to play here before we get to my final thoughts from this week's episode. So we're going to play this clip. This is from next week's episode, where I have it from our TikTok page. So make sure you follow us at SUR Files. This is Brittany questioning Kristen's blind loyalty to Nia. Listen to this.
Can I talk to you about something, though, that kind of bothered me last night? Tell me. Whenever we were talking to Nia, it was about the food train and all that stuff, but there was another level to it where I'd not heard from her for 8 days, and that hurt my feelings, because everybody else, even Jessie, even Lacey, checked on me and reached out. So for me, it felt like a little like what's going on? Did she just do all that stuff the night before for show? Did she actually care about me? Like, she apologized. She said she should have done better. But then you came up and you were ready to so defend Nia.
Because they do feel protective over her.
But she has to be. She has to be able.
Especially Janet.
But Janet was not saying anything. I know. She really wasn't.
I feel like remembering.
I know. But you immediately came in being ready to protect Nia. Me and you have been so close for so long. Yeah. I guess it just hurts my feelings, because I felt like that for a while. Like, when it comes to Nia, I'm all allowed to have an opinion or say anything.
You absolutely are.
When it comes to Nia, I think Kristen has blind loyalty. She immediately goes on the defense for Nia. Nia did not need her defense. I'm the one that's struggling and in so much pain. She didn't even think about what my feelings were. Sometimes she just seems so performative, and that's what hurts my feelings, because I know she's a good person.
Because I don't see that at all.
All right. This is so fucking stupid. Look at the mirror. Are you seriously? Blind loyalty? All right. Blind loyalty, because you can't just admit to yourself that you don't like the girl. Just say you don't like her. It's not that hard. So, I know that in Los Angeles they celebrated Gay Pride. Obviously, it's Pride Month, so shout out to everybody who celebrates Pride Month. I'm not in the community, but I support the community. Obviously, I support my sister. She's part of the community. Shout out to my sister Alex and her partner Candace. While I'm not part of that community, I've always advocate for people to be who they want to be with. That's not my place to judge somebody's decisions. There's far more important things to worry about in life than who's sleeping with who. That's not my place. I've always, will be a champion for people who want to live their lives on their own accord. The same thing with myself being straight edge. Me choosing not to drink or smoke doesn't make me a lame person. I'm making my choices because I'm doing what makes me happy and not the other way around. And you need to live your life for yourself. You don't need to be a robot. The reason I'm bringing this up because over the weekend they had probably the last Pride celebration at TomTom. For those who don't know, the TomTom restaurant in West Hollywood is on sale. And this could be an end of an era, which is very unfortunate because I've always wanted to check out TomTom in person. And you guys know that I'm a big fan of Tom Sandoval. He's been my favorite cast member of Vanderpump Rules. So, it's been an ongoing conversation about, TomTom coming to an end. They brought this up on the Valley After Show this week, and I wanted to play some of that as Schwartz reflects on TomTom being put on sale. And let's hear what Schwartz has to say.
TomTom is for sale. And what am I working? I'm not shopping. No. Market? I'm not in the market right now. I highly don't recommend it. I can't say I was blindsided by it. Lisa and Ken called me, and we all kind of knew. Just with dwindling sales, I'm effing sad. There's such a big part of my heart and soul that's in that place. Even though technically I have my puny 5%, but it means the world to me. It meant 100% of my life for so long. We put a lot of our blood, sweat, and tears in that place. I really poured my heart out every time I went in there. But yeah, I'll make a few bucks when they sell it, which will be nice.
He's never gonna see that. Never. Here's a check. Please. I think he wastes a lot of days, hours, months, and weekends there without any return whatsoever.
I just feel like Schwartz, he keeps getting the short end of the stick.
Wow, look at you guys building bars and then making them go out of business.
He can't catch a break.
They changed half of the restaurant into Pump after Pump closed down.
First ever TomTom brunch, TomTom
Pump. That already would have been hard.
I can see why he never wants to be involved in the restaurant industry ever again. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how he goes into restaurants anymore without being triggered.
That hasn't seemed to be the case. Okay, Stray.
I'm really happy Schwartz can be let go of someplace that I think is chaining him down.
It's a nightmare. It's an all-consuming, just up at dawn, stressed at night. It's even when things are going good, it's just if you don't love it, I don't know, man. But I would never open my own bar or put my name on a lease ever again or finance it.
I think this is great for him. And when doors close, other doors open. They're meant to be.
That was my path. I'm going to be a restaurateur. We wanted to license Schwartz and Sandy's. We were looking at spots in Las Vegas. And okay, this is going to be my life. Maybe a bootleg version of what Ken and Lisa have, but still. I feel like I need to be a Robin Williams here. It's not your fault.
like you're burying this dream as if like you failed or something, but you didn't do anything.
I don't even look at it as a failure anymore. I learned so much and I became a better person for sure. Whatever little residual Peter Pan syndrome I had lingering in my system is just gone now. It shaped me into the man I am today, and I still have a lot of growing to do. I'm a late bloomer. But like, it's sad. It feels like the end of an era. Lisa checks in on me. We'll FaceTime from time to time. They got an empire they're building, a new empire in Las Vegas. She actually just invited me to come out to the opening for her new hotel, which is going to be so chic, so fabulous, but I can't go.
My invitation might have gotten mixed up
I think
somewhere.
it got lost, for sure.
It got lost in the mail.
Do you ever talk to Lisa?
We're besties. She's like on my VIP. Absolutely not. No.
I talk to her.
Oh, you do?
I do.
After I was off Vanderpump Rules, I never heard from her. I didn't hear from her through the divorce, through Cruz's autism diagnosis. I reached out to her when she got hurt, and then we were at BravoCon. We passed each other, and she was just like so nice, of course. She was just kind of like, you've been so strong. I'm so proud of you. And like to hear that she's like reaching out to Lala, but like not me or Jax, like that kind of stings a little bit.
It does. I don't blame you at all for feeling that way.
Yeah.
Tom is doing great. We've reestablished our friendship. There's no lingering resentment anymore. We're cool. We're good. I mean, he's family to me. We just needed a long break, which I think everyone could understand.
I hope Sir is okay.
Don't even put that into the
I
universe.
know. I want Sir to be okay. Because Sir is like our home base.
That's what gave us like the life that we have right now.
Yeah.
Brittany, I love you so much. We've been rocking since season 4 of Vanderpump Rules.
We have been. Wait,
I can't
barely
believe
move.
it.
We can't move our dresses.
All right. Let's get to some final thoughts here for this episode. Yeah, the whole stuff with Janet calling Danny Charles Manson, that crossed the line for me this week. Like, come on, dude. Like, come on. I know there's supposed to be some redemption arc season for Janet, but her doing that is just uncalled for. And I can see why this is going the direction it's going into with that little clip that they had at the mid-season trailer where Nia snaps at Janet again. I'm excited to see that. I think that's in Mexico, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But the Jesse and Michelle conversation towards the end of the episode was also interesting too, because Jesse pointed out, like, yeah, you know, we had this nice, vulnerable, catharsis, like, conversation at the coffee shop when they agreed to move forward with the divorce, and then he's overhearing Michelle, like, snickering and talking shit about the marriage again to Lala at Zach's party the week prior. So he's like, which one is it? And then Michelle gets defensive and saying that, oh, you think I'm performative? And then she's like, oh, I see the way you treat Lacey. You never treated me that way. I think we can all understand both sides of the fence. I can understand Michelle's frustration and resentment, and she's said it multiple times over the years on the show that she doesn't handle exes well. I do commend how honest and upfront Jesse's been this season, and he's been one of my favorite cast members this season. He's been probably one of the most honest people besides Nia and Kristen, in my opinion. But all in all, that was episode 11 of the SUR Files. Friendship shaken, not stirred. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's show. Make sure to hit me up on X if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Josh Lopez Music. Hit us up on TikTok at SUR Files. And on our YouTube page, make sure to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button as we're on the road to 100 subscribers. And as always, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, new episodes of the SUR Files drop each and every single Friday anywhere you get podcasts from. The home of the SUR Files is Odyssey Creator Lab. We appreciate the support on that end. And also, don't forget, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I love each and every single one of you. I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. I want to give a big early shout out on Father's Day. Shout out to my dad. His birthday's coming up on Monday, so I want to give a big shout out to him. I miss him a lot. I love you, man. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. This is episode 13 of the SUR Files. I'm Joshie. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.